Hello world, I'm here because I feel I must say something about this. This article in the paper about wind farms, about something called Vibratory Vestibular Disturbance, Visceral Vibratory Vestibular Disturbance, or VVD. Let me see, it can cause such things as disorder in children and damage their development. Well, over there are some children, and over there a wind turbine. Now, to give you an indication of how quiet these things are, the nearest turbine isn't that one, it's that one. That one right here. I stood under one of them. It's not exactly noisy, isn't it? Right, I'm trying to think to read this. Yeah, you know, thumping, banging, incessant rumbling. We call these symptoms Wind Turbine Syndrome. What's it? Can cause tinnitus, vertigo, sleep deprivation, nightmares, stop children's brains developing properly. The point is this. Think about all the people who live next to underground trains. In the cities, think of all the people who live on the coast where the waves crash onto the beach and onto the rocks. That's tens of thousands of tons of water crashing onto the rocks. Think of the sort of low frequency vibration that would be. The biggest noise around here is someone calling a dog. You know, the world is full of stuff that makes noise. We made a world that's full of stuff that makes noise. Trains, boats, aeroplanes, motorways, freeways, trucks, cars, buses, motorbikes, helicopters. The sort of vibrations that come from helicopters, drown one of these out, no problem. You know, this person probably stands to make an awful lot of money from plugging her book. A book that's cashing in on people's fear of the unknown, in this case wind farms. You know, this sort of thing is stealing our future. Damaging our efforts to have renewable energy is stealing our future. Way over in the distance, right over there, I don't know if you can see it because the sun has sort of blended it into the horizon, is a power station. That's where I work. In that power station, there are machines that smash the coal up to make it into a fine dust so it burns efficiently. Those machines together can get through a ton of coal every 6.5 seconds. They produce the level of vibration that aren't so much measured on a decibel meter as you would literally measure using the Richter scale. They make the sort of vibration that is so loud that you have to wear earplugs or you would instantly damage your hearing. Yet, these things here, rattling a door stand here, these things here produce a vibration that is probably immeasurable compared to what goes on over there. Let me put the camera right against the tower, there. If I put the camera against the machines at work, it would be like this. The vibration would be so loud it would physically shake the camera all over the shop. Now, it's a vibration so loud in the power station that it rattles the tools on the workbench. It makes ripples in your tea. The tiles on the bathroom wall and the restroom walls are full of cracks because of the vibrations in the underlying masonry. The building has to be designed to take into account seismic considerations with its special flexible steel columns, because otherwise the machinery down in the basement smashing a cola would literally shake the place apart. I've worked at that power station for coming up to 9 years now, and I can report that it has caused me no problems whatsoever. The coal grinding mills produce their own vibration. The power station itself, as it generates electricity, has 4 huge turbo generators that scream round so fast the tips of the steam turbine blades go twice the speed of sound. The noise is biblical. Yet, the nearby Lady Grove housing estate near the power station was recently found out to be one of the generally healthiest population-wise in the country. So that level of noise and seismic vibration has absolutely no measurable detrimental effect on the health of the local population. What effect can something as immeasurably quiet as this going to have on anyone? There are countless people doing countless jobs that subjects them to unimaginable noise, the underlying vibrations of which are pretty damned intense. Here's a pretty good example here as the farmer comes up in his combine harvester. The countryside is full of combine harvesters and tractors making all sorts of racket. It doesn't affect the development of our children's brains. So how can those affect the development of our children's brains if that thing there is proven as, you know, seems to be getting away unnoticed? Think of the train drivers with a bloomin' great diesel engine right behind their back pulling a 2,000-ton freight train. That's a lot of vibration. Think of the people who live next to ports and docksides with gigantic diesel engines powering cargo ships in and out. Think of people who live in the cities over the aforementioned underground trains. Think of people who work with Formula 1 I have to stop shouting now. Formula 1 racing cars. Wind Turbine Syndrome. You know, when Concorde started flying, people attributed so many possible health risks to Concorde that somebody once said sarcastically that if people started getting ingrowing toenails at about the same time Concorde started flying, they would blame Concorde for ingrowing toenails. You put one of these things up in the community, and you know, people are getting all sorts of ailments all sorts of the time. As time goes on, people who've got healthy, being generally healthy, might develop certain ailments. And statistically speaking, any community will have somebody going down with ailment problems on a fairly regular basis. As soon as that community acquires a wind farm, the person who just happens to be unlucky enough to go down with cancer or whatever it is, at the same time the wind farm just happens to appear, may be tempted to blame the wind farm. I mean, you do have to be careful with wind farms. I'm looking at very pretty shadows. You see that? I'm looking at very pretty shadows. They're delightful to look at. People are enjoying the spinning shadows right now. But you do have to be careful that perhaps you wouldn't want your house directly behind one, because the flicking shadow would get a bit annoying. But that's, you know, no mention of that. You know, we have to design our wind farm sensibly. We have to make sure that, you know, you really couldn't put a house immediately in the shadow of one of these things. But to me, that was really the only problem. You know, there have been some terrible blunders with shadow flicker. People literally having to live with constant flick of shadows. You know, that's something we do need to sort out. You know, but the problem is the real sort of, you know, sensible planning issues concerning the design of anything, not just a wind farm, you know, roads or a McDonald's restaurant or whatever it is you want to build, are being overshadowed by just so much nonsense. I'm about to run out of film. I think it's going to go any moment now. No, I think we're going